Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Horror Snob. My name's Michael James. I am the Horror Snob, and I'm here with 4 new movies for you. 4 new films coming out next week. We're going to be taking a look at the trailers and running down each of them in some great detail, talking cast, director, story, and ultimately what you can expect from these films. Now, for those of you out there that were really just looking for the full trailers, full sound available, you're not interested in hearing my voice babble on for the next several minutes, I do have those available. Something I've added just recently that I like to call torturous teasers. Each week I'm pumping out compilations of all of the trailers I'll be featuring in one nice little herd, cleaned up, brightened up, and with full sound presented as they are. If you want to check those out, just click the link above. You'll find what you're looking for there. With all that being said, I got a lot to get into here today with these 4 movies and so much more beyond that, including our Horror Snob Hall of Fame matchup, which is going to go October style in the beginning of March. Kind of an oddity, you would think, but there's a big reason why, and you're going to learn it as we go along. So let's start off with number 1 on our list, a movie I'm eagerly anticipating. Hell, I'm really looking forward to all of these. But number 1, we kick off with Lucky, a Shudder exclusive movie going to their platform, written and starring Brea Grant, who was in another movie that just recently dropped on Shudder called After Midnight. Beyond that, you probably know her from things like Heroes, Rob Zombie's second Halloween movie, and a bunch of other horror films where she's not only starred in, but also written and directed as of recent. If you caught 12 Hour Shift, she wrote and directed that one as well. This girl is all over the place. She's got her hands down and dirty in our genre of choice, and she's come up with some really good stuff. Lucky looks like another one. A movie that really kind of has that Groundhog-Day feel to it, in some ways like Happy Death Day, but a far more serious take. Her and her husband, every day, every night, they are approached by a man that's trying to kill them, breaks in their home, and goes stabby stabby. Sometimes they get the upper hand, sometimes they don't. But this thing is dark, it is twisted, it's got a Hitchcockian feel to it, and I've got a feeling this is going to be an edge of the seat kind of a watch. If you like some solid storytelling to go alongside your blood and guts, this is definitely a movie you're going to want to prioritize. You can find it available on Shudder next week on Thursday the 4th. And number 2, it's Son, a film that's going to have so many twists and turns to it, you're not going to be able to see upright by the end of this thing, I guarantee. 2 leads in this, Annie Matichak, Emile Hirsch. Matichak you know from the most recent addition to the Halloween series, and Emile Hirsch you know from a couple films as well, like The Darkest Hour and The Autopsy of Jane Doe. An excellent film on its own right, and one you have to have seen. The 2 of them have a bit of a mystery they got to figure out, and figure out in a hurry, because it's all predicated on her young kid and the fact that he has become desperately ill very suddenly after a rather horrifying event one night. With elements of apocalypse and prophecy, this thing seems to pull from all sorts of different places. End of Days, Stigmata, Lost Souls, New Daughter. There is so much wrapped up into this thing. Physical elements to it that remind me of things like The Ritual or the Blair Witch Project. This is going to have so much to it, including a revelation we are already privy to in the trailer alone, that she is a former cult member. What the hell is going on is going to be the question of the hour for the entire time you're watching this film. And there is nothing more I love than movies that keep you on your toes, on the edge, wondering just that. You can find Son available for your viewing pleasure this coming Friday on the 5th, video on demand. At number 3, Dreamcatcher. This one's not going to be as complex in story, and it's not going to be as prominent in its cast. Nobody you're really going to recognize on this thing. The basic storyline, this thing is a prototypical teen slasher flick that really hints back to days of Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, with a lot of whodunit type elements that were very reminiscent of those movies. With a presentation style that, if I'm reading this correctly, is really going to be plotted to us in a manner very similar to the way Clue was, the early 1980s movie about the board game, This has a lot of potential to it. And if it's successful, it's only because of the man at the helm for this thing, a visual producer who has spent the majority of his career working on Marvel films, Jacob Johnston. If the story's lacking, we should at the very least end up with a visually stunning movie, but if the story pulls off, this could be a surprise win for us in a big way. Look for Dreamcatcher, available also video on demand next Friday the 5th. Hey gang, before we finish up today's episode, just a quick reminder to check out the website horrorsnob.com. You can find a full archive of everything I've put out thus far, some truly awesome novelty items, and absolutely rare horror memorabilia authentically autographed by dudes like Sid Haig, John Carpenter, and Bela Lugosi. All available for you at horrorsnob.com. And now let's get back into it. And finally at number 4, The Devil Below. A movie with an awesome cast to it, led by Will Patton, a dude you have seen several times over, every genre you can imagine, all sorts of different things. For us as horror fans, you're talking The Fourth Kind, The Mothman Prophecies, and dude has even done a turn in the realm of Halloween. Are you starting to see a theme? Remember what I said earlier about the Hall of Fame? A great cast behind him, Alicia Sands, Adam Canto, Jonathan Sadowski, good, young, solid group, working in a movie that's got so many different elements to it, much like Son and Lucky. This thing's pulling from everything from Silent Hill, the abandoned old town, Left 4 Dead, to things like Descent and The Cave. These guys are going to go on an adventure down a hole that they wish they never ventured into. And what they're going to find is going to be any combination of the monsters we've seen in the movies I mentioned to something as gruesome as the old gods from anything related to H.P. Lovecraft. Dark and disturbing and expected to be bloody, this is going to be a more action-packed horror film as compared to any of the previous 3. A can't-miss movie. Again, like the others, available video on demand next week, Friday the 5th. All right. That's it for me today. As always, I invite you to take a moment, hit that subscribe button and the bell, stay up to date with reviews, previews, rankings, all of the things I'm releasing on a weekly basis. And remember, you've got a shot to participate in the Horror Snob Hall of Fame and win yourself a free 1-year subscription to Shudder. Just like us on Facebook, subscribe to us here on Horror Snob on YouTube, and in the comment section down below, tell me which of the following you choose. Remember, today was all about celebrating October in March. And if you saw the theme throughout today's episode, you already know what I'm referring to. Just about every movie had at least one, if not multiple actors that have participated in the Halloween franchise at one moment or another. So, for today's Horror Snob Hall of Fame matchup, I want to know which of the 3 groupings of Halloween movies do you prefer most? The original that was kicked off by John Carpenter in 1978, the Rob Zombie remakes that kicked off in 2007, and then for the final group, the recent additions, the trilogy, 2 of which we're still waiting on, which kicked off 2018, bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back into the fold. Of these 3 groups, which do you choose? Leave your comment in the section down below for your chance to win a free 1-year subscription to Shudder. As always, my name is Michael James. I am the Horror Snob. I thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.